So how do you get more like into battling? Like how does it like evolve from like you're battling people to like you're doing battles?
All right, so where now that came into play, that happened. I will never forget this story. I went to shout out to the Pyramid. Pyramid used to be a place in New York. It's on the Lower East Side, near like Delancey, Essex Street, whatever. And they used to have this thing called End of the Week. End of the Week was yeah, I think they have it
No,
the
and
weekdays and the
yeah.
weekends.
So end of the week is still around because we on their Zoom right now.
Yeah, shout out the End of the Week, respectfully. Like they that's when you wanted to showcase your talent on a different level. This is where I first met Iron Solomon. I met Mav Hoffa. You know what I'm saying? I met Dutch. I met Sarah Connor. I met Swave Cell. I met a lot of people that was just going there as artists. These was artists, Immortal Tech. These was people that was still going Poison Pen. Like these is people that still are how a well known name in the culture that done tours and everything, and they used to do like freestyles and stuff like. And I used to just go down there as a fan. And I remember the first time I performed. I think I performed late, and it was a whole packed house. But when I performed, there was only two people left in that crowd, and I was Mav Hoffa and I was Iron Solomon. I will never forget it. I will never forget it to this day. And I felt bad because I'm like, yo, I'm only rapping for two people. I felt hurt. I was hurt, no lie. Like as an artist, I'm like, yo, what? Then Math was like, yo, bro, don't worry about it, man. I fucks with you, bro. Just keep doing what you got to do. I came back the
No,
following week, but I came early. I think I came late that time because I didn't know
no, but
whatever.
even if you think about what you just said, it's not necessarily the number of people. Think about the two
It's not
people you perform for. Those would be two people. Like I would go to a packed show hoping those two people kind of would catch me. You know, like so it's almost like you just cut through the fat and gave like a private show to people
that
you definitely
respectfully,
want to like
respectfully.
have it. But
They did not have to stay. It was just them. There was a big stage. They just stood right there. It was just standing there. I'm looking, ain't nobody in there but them two. And I would just remember just rapping and rapping. And when I came outside, it was like, you fired, bro. Don't worry about it, bro. You got it. You know what I'm saying? They gave me words of advice. I took that. I came back early the next following week and I shut it down. So that's when I met my homeboy Joe Colombo. Now Joe Colombo, if it wasn't, y'all would not know of your boy Clip if it wasn't for Joe Colombo. Like you probably would have known me down the line, but as pushing the me and Joe Colombo worked at the movie theaters, and I met him. Um, I forgot. I don't know if it was through the music side first or through. I think we met through work, and then we linked up at the end of the week and stuff like that. So I used to be at work. I used to have the schedules of the movies that's coming out at what time, and then on the other side of that, I would just be writing rhymes, punchlines, metaphors, punchlines, metaphors. So me and him will battle at work, on break, on the concession stand. We'll freestyle about popcorn, all this random dumb stuff, whatever. So he was like, "Yo, bro, I rock with these people from Grind Time." I'm like, "Word?" He's like, "Yo, you know, I rock with a couple of dudes that got a, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should come out." So I was like, "All right, I give it a try, I give it a try, and everything like that." So I'm trying to remember. It's been so long. This one I met. Shout out to my man Dutch. I think my first battle was against this guy named E Dot. And
I,
again, like
I saw that battle. So
yeah, that was my
Du-
first
Dutch was very
shout out
much
again.
like, "Yo, you better watch these two battles," and give me his like, "You better watch them." It was the one
Yeah.
against that dude, and then against 12 gauge because Dutch is
Oh
right
yeah.
there.
So we're gonna talk about the 12 gauge one. That's my favorite story.
But
E Dot was just a warm up. E Dot was me. Again, like you said,
that's like your
I had a
first like battle.
yeah, I think that was I think that was to that magnitude. Like
Right,
I done
right.
little stuff against my homeboys. We fake put it together. Me and my man Solo the God. We did some fake promo, whatever, the battle alert, whatever. But to that, as being as somebody saying, come to my platform, show you know what I'm saying, and really saying, yo, he's fire. Shout out to my man Dutch. And again, my first battle ever, I had the opportunity to have Soul Khan as a host. DNA was there. Sway Seba was there. And again, at the time, again, I didn't know the format of battle rap. I just know I could rap. But even with that battle, it's the energy that I brought against E Dot that just, the aura made me feel like I won. You know what I'm saying? Like my lyrics wasn't the best at the time, but the stuff I was saying, I showcased what I really could do. And at this time, this goes back to what I told you earlier. I was still in the 90s format of just having rhymes. I didn't write for E Dot. I didn't know who he was. Again, that's why I tell people it's a different time frame.
Right.
Because back then on grind time, you only had 1 minute. You ain't have 2 minutes. You didn't have 2 minutes and 30. You had 1 minute to impress somebody. That means you got to either shake the room or you got to shake the room. And then when and I would never forget it because DNA stole my ball. We say shit niggas scared to. He stole it. He stole it respectfully. Because if you see him against the battle versus E Dot, I said it's a punchline. It's a punchline. I said that he used that same ball when he battled in Webster Hall. I think he battled Miles. I don't know if it was Miles or somebody. I forgot who they battled that time. But he used that same punchline. That's when I said, yo, I could really do this now. I just had, and this was young DNA, but at the time I'm thinking like I knew who he was. I'm like, yo, he's took my ball. Like, oh, I could if he could rap with my if I'm that nice that somebody still, that's my first time ever dealing with somebody stealing with my line or whatever. So when he took it, I'm like, yo, I could do this then. If he's stealing my shit, the lines that I'm saying is, oh, I know what time it is. So like I said, when I made Joe Colombo,
that's one of the nicest like flexes of like an early moment, right? Like that I think I've heard really. Like I spit a bar, a man who's ahead of me in the game heard the bar, and then he used the bar. And it is what it is. He used the bar
on Summer Madness. It wasn't like a roll. It was Summer Madness. Webster Hall, the first Webster Hall.
I'm not really sure the significance of Summer Madness, to be real. My battle rap knowledge is like, I wasn't really that knowledgeable. And then Dutch was like, you're going to talk to Iron Solomon. You've got 2 weeks to figure him out. Go have fun.
Yeah.
And then since then, it's been a lot of like, I listen to battles and kind of old and new mixed together all over. I've talked to a lot of people, so like my context is a lot more on point now. So like, but like I'm not necessarily sure of the significance of each like moment like that.
Well, basically, like just someone to give you a quick rundown. URL, is the biggest brand in battle rap to that degree for certain people, but it's really like the, so they had a call called Summer Madness. Summer Madness is basically like it's like the biggest card of their brand. You know what I'm saying? That's where P. Diddy came out. You had seen Chinks Drugs come out. There's a lot of artists. You ever want to see celebs on URL? That's kind of the platform where they all come out to, just because it's to that magnitude. But that was that platform that he did it, because I was in the building as a fan when he said this shit.
Oh, that adds a whole extra level of dopeness.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I watch the E Dot battle, I could show you it, point out the ball, go to DNA battle and point out the same shit. DNA was right there, and it's all love. Shout out to DNA, that's my guy. You can have it, I don't care. But at that moment, I'm like, yo, I can do this. And again, shout out to Dutch. And that from that battle with E Dot, that was just a warm up. So Dutch said, yo, bro, we got the draft. We doing a draft. The draft, all right. He said, yo, bro, you're going to battle this dude named 12 Gauge. He from Far Rockaway. I'm like, Now, again, this is when I finally figured it out for battle rap. My first 2 rounds was old rhymes that I had. But I said, you know what? Let me see if I actually write for him. How would it do if I actually write for him? My third round, you seen the battle, my third round was the only round that I wrote for him.
It's like 12 this, 12 that, 12 ways, and then you kind of like...
Exactly. They put clip in the Marshberg. Now I'm going to rip through his 12 gauge. See, they might swag surf through Swisher House with them Swisher Sweets. So my young guns rock this fella, and I ain't talking about Chris and Neef. His balls over everything. Y'all know how I be giving it up. Lethal killed you, which was beauty because he was actually in the crowd. Lethal killed you, Scream buried you, which he was in the crowd as well. So it kind of made sense, like, oh, this is why you do your hits. This is why you do your homework. And I say he be running through the hood, and I be giving it up. And again, you had 1 minute. I always had this punchline in my back in the days, but I knew if I say it, I'm gonna win. Like it's a hard. And I'm like, you giving it up? And I told him, nigga, you only stop on certain blocks like a limited bus.
Yeah.
When I hit that boy with that, bro, that's why if you look at the footage, that's why it's edited. Because they was reacting for so long. That was my first time ever experiencing that. I was by myself. I had no crew. No right-hand man was with me. No girl was with me. No family was with me. I was in that building by myself. And I shook that room. Like, that's when I said, and I'm watching Rosenberg Raw. He's in the crowd. Sarah Connor, she right there. Poison Pen in the back. PH, God bless his soul. PH is in the building. I'm like, yo, this is, once I hit him with that, I said, I know it. Now it's over. Now I'm home. It's over now. It's over now.
I remember like that was like one of those bars where like, cause you know the first time I watched it, I'm multitasking, doing whatever, cause you know it's like, and then it's like it stops you. You're like, that one hit. Like there's not
that was
like that one hit anybody. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. That one hit.
I can hit you with that. Yo, this is why you my guy. You just said the $1 million answer. It could have went for, that's how I was writing. A couple of name flips, but I make sure my rhymes can go for anybody, like anybody. And that was important because I always want to make sure, God forbid, somebody didn't show for a battle, which has happened. You got to improvise your rhyme and you got to know how to switch the name that you gave him. You got to use his name now. Like, and that was it. I'm so happy that you said that, bro. I'm so happy you said that.
It also like kind of makes sense because you're like, it looks like the pace of battles has increased for everyone in the last year and a bit. Like everyone's doing a lot more battles with a lot less preparation time is what it looks like. I may be wrong, but it
now
seems,
you right. You're 1,000% right.
So it feels like that tactic effectively trains you for what's useful today. Because if you're coming up with bars that you can flip on anybody, it's going to be an easier time to run through that gauntlet.
And that's what, and I'm happy. I'm happy that you brought that up because I'm gonna use that topic and why I came back musically, but I did it through battle rap, which is like me doing a verbal war zone, which me rapping on beat and stuff like that. Because I'm gonna get into that after, because everything was a kind of placing and everything like that.
But that's exactly what we do here. Because like in a sense, it's like Wikipedia pages like that. It's like blocks of like what the fuck happened in order, and that's the best way to like get a complete idea for who a person is, especially if you're somebody like me. It's like I can't Google this shit. It's better to just get you to say it, and then other people can peep that.
I appreciate y'all even in the ears, but yeah, that's when I got. And Dutch told me. I remember he came to me after. I will never forget this, and it felt so good because he was the legal to him. He had a whole team and everybody. Shout out to Sarah Connor, Poison Pen, and everybody else. But he came to me, he was like, yo, bro, I'm proud of you. That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it was just the love that I got from everybody there. It was crazy to me. And at that moment, I'm like, yo, I'm grind time, nigga. Fuck that. Whoever y'all want me to kill, send them to me. I don't care. I was prepared, but I wasn't prepared. But I was just so excited. I remember walking back home like, yo, I won. I would never forget this. Shout out to my man Rosenberg Roy. I'm gonna make sure I tag him in this when he see this. Rosenberg Roy was fire at the time. He was a young dude still though, but he was the only one. I remember I left the venue. He was outside. He came to me. He was like, yo, son, yo, you fire, bro. I fucks with you, my G. Keep doing your thing, bro. And I knew of him to that. To me, he was a little bit more famous. So I looked at him like, you said that to me, bro? He walked off. I said, nah, I'm about to fuck this shit up over here. And then grind time ended. God damn it. I said, God damn it. That's when I was getting fired.
That must have been not fun. I don't know how else to put it.
It wasn't, bro. It wasn't. Because I kind of got in, right? Grind time was already on their way out for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? But I got in right at the ending. Like, that was the fucked up part. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was prepared, ready. Things didn't go there. Things happened. You know what I'm saying? A lot of business didn't go the way it went. You know what I'm saying? But I had to find another home after that. And that's when I found We Go Hard.
Yeah, that's dope.
which is We Go Hard. So for the people that don't know, We Go Hard is a battle rap league based out in Brooklyn. They're from Brownsville, but they're based in Brooklyn. We Go Hard is basically like I wouldn't even call us the little brothers of URL, but we kind of are the little we the under URL, as we the only league that can really to this magnitude get our battles dropped on their channel. Smack comes out, Beasley come out. We the only one to get the Beasley intros on our type of stuff, so it's really beneficial. So,
I don't know what
but
a
that was my
Beasley
thing.
intro is. I've never heard that before in my life.
No word, you gotta hear those. Beasley, shout out to Beasley, man. Beasley's the intro king, man. I don't care what you got going on. You got a pair of socks on, and you need him to promote that with a great voice. He got that Morgan Freeman, and he got that voice that could just sell anything. So he's great. And then again, I found We Go Hard.
So they were around back at the end of Grand Time?
Yeah, they was around. Like they was up and coming, but they was around at the time. And I was still in battle rap form. I was ready to go, and I needed to do something. And this is when I met some of my friends in my hood, which is my man Sonny Got Balls, my man Eli, my man Brooklyn Carter, Nina, Explicit. So Explicit was always down with us back in the days. Explicit used to be in the studio with us, so I used to have him around. But my man Sonny was like, yo, I know about this league in Brooklyn. We go hard, bro. We should give it a try. And we was downstairs. We was talking about it. I'm like, yo, bro, even though they knew I was seasoned, I said, yo, bro, you know what? Y'all go first. Y'all go in first, and I come in underneath y'all like I'm y'all. Even though I know I'm seasoned, though. I'm more experienced than them in battle rap format, but they kind of got the upper hand on where it's at. I already knew about We Go Hard, just didn't know where they was at that time and everything. But when I got over there and I had my first battle, I battled this dude named Detox. Guy was a troll. He'll talk crazy. He talk everything. And this is when I think, and again, this is when you got realize things is different. Like, this is the streets. We're in Brownsville. We're in the basement. We're in the basement. This is like a Sean Paul, just give me the light. One of them basements. Like, it's really tight. It's really tight. It's Bloods in here. It's Crips in here. There's no security in here. It's people strapped in here. It's everything that you could kind of think of in an awkward setting, but it's battle rap. And I would never forget, as the dude battle rapping, he went first. I remember my man Fabio. The dude was so trash. He was just trash. And my man Fabio said, yo, bro, man, you gotta get more aggressive. Like, he tell it, God forbid, in a battle, you don't never want to be coached on what to do. You feel me? Now you laughing, you get it now. So everybody start laughing. Like, in my mind, I say, yo, there's no way in hell. So, and this is my first time over here. This is their first time seeing me. I got my team behind me. Shout out to my man Brooklyn Carter, because he's already known over there. So having him, my team behind me, actually benefited my ego, my energy. And I fucked that man up. Bad. And one thing I always admired was bodies, like winning. Not 0-2-1. I was trying to body you. Like, I wanted a 3-0. I wanted to really, till this day, I have the most bodies in We Go Hard, like, as bodies, not clear wins. Like, people ain't really clear. It's not a lot of battle rappers that battle me to say they could clearly win. There's maybe a couple that you probably edged or you, but I never gave somebody a reason to say you really won against me. Like, I really didn't come prepared and stuff like that. So once I got to We Go Hard, that's when the game changed for real.
So, when does that lead to like music, or is that kind of like you still go through with We Go Hard for a minute?
I go hard with We Go Hard for a minute. I go a couple of years with We Go Hard, like heavy. My first battle, my second battle, I battled this guy named Titanium. I remember waiting outside for 8 hours. We was out there at 1 o'clock that day. I got there at 2 o'clock. He didn't show up till like 8 o'clock because he had to go to work. And we waited outside in the Ville. I smoked him because I was mad that I had to wait that fucking long for you, bro. Like, I was pissed. But we still battled. Salute to him. Like, we still battled and everything. And then after that, I had a couple of backouts. And then I had one important battle. It was on Halloween Havoc. This was the battle that actually got me a proving ground on URL. Proving ground is basically, it's like a being in the NBA and having a 10-day contract.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of one of those type of opportunities. So I battled Guapo and I had one of the most iconic lines from that battle, and it was called "Why support a nigga who never support a nigga?" The reason why I said that in the battle, because I battled a guy named Guapo. He always had a friend named Ox. And I used to always see Ox always standing behind your battles. He's always supporting your battles. But when he's battling, you're never there. So I use that as a tactic. Like, yo, why support a nigga who never support a nigga? He be here. You wasn't there. And it kind of worked in my favor. But when I did that, that was something that everybody realized. Like, I took that in the heave in real life. Like, I said one thing about me, and Dutch will tell you this. I'm so humble that I want to know when people are a fan of me. I felt like it's right. It's only right for me to be a fan of you. That means, like you said, going down, finding out who you are, finding out what you do, supporting what you do, sharing what you do, posting what you do. Like, that's why I said, why support a nigga? If you never support me, then there's no conversation that we must have. Because you're not saying, again, I don't care if it's a like, I don't care. I had a fan who seen me on 42nd Street, and he looked at me in my eyes and said, "Bro, I can't believe you out here." And in my mind, I'm like, "Bro, it's just 42nd Street. Everybody should be out here." But to him, how he sees me, like, again, they see you on TV or Tube or whatever you want to call it. But when they see me out there and they say, "Yo, you really cool," of course, I want to take pictures with the fans. Let me know what you do. Let me know if you got any talents, because I got people that probably need something you need. Like, that's my thing right there. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I always move like that. And when I got into battle rap, I said I can either be in battle rap or I can be a part of battle rap. And then that's when I